What's up, it's Richie here with Statifying Football. These are the weekday games for Week 6 in the NFL and Week 7 in college football. There's actually a pretty big Tuesday night game for college football this week between Appalachian State and Louisiana Lafayette. We'll get into that in a minute, but we'll start with the NFL game. Thursday night, the Philadelphia Eagles and the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Philly came back. They were down by 12 against Carolina and beat a good Carolina team 21-18. Jalen Hurts threw for 198 and a pick, but he did run for 30 yards and 2 rushing touchdowns. Defensively, they had 3 sacks and forced 3 turnovers in that game to get them back into it to pull off that win. Tampa Bay destroyed a terrible Miami team 45-17. Wide receiver Antonio Brown set an NFL record. He became the fastest receiver to receive 900 receptions. So he did that in only 143 games, so he was the quickest to get to 900 receptions, I should say. He beat Marvin Harrison's NFL record. He had 7 catches, 124 yards, and 2 touchdowns in the game. Mike Evans had 6 catches, 113 yards, and 2 touchdowns. Tom Brady threw for 411 yards and 5 touchdown passes. They put up 558 yards of offense and defensively caused 3 sacks in that game. I think this game will be a bit closer game than against Miami for the Bucs, as it's only a 4-day rest. They have to go to Philadelphia. Jalen Hurts is a pretty decent mobile quarterback. We have a fast team, but our secondary, Tampa Bay secondary, is still kind of iffy. But Tampa Bay should be able to get him out of there with a win. I think some fans may think the Bucs are going to blow them out. They could. It's possible. I think it'll be closer than everybody thinks, but I do think the Bucs will escape with a victory. All right, now moving on to the college games. Like I said, there's a Tuesday night game this week. Appalachian State and Louisiana Lafayette, 2 of the best teams in the Sun Belt. App State, both teams had a bye week this past weekend. Appalachian State, a couple of weeks ago, they beat Georgia State 45-16. Chase Bryce, 326 passing and 3 touchdowns. Corey Sutton, 4 catches, 106 and a touchdown. They had 502 yards of offense. Defensively, had 4 sacks and forced 3 turnovers in their win. Louisiana Lafayette, they got by South Alabama, a pretty good South Alabama team, 20-18. Levi Lewis was not very good passing, 9 of 20 for 49 yards. He's a much better passer than that. He did add 61 rushing yards and a touchdown, and they did run for 225 yards as a team. This will be a really good close game. Both these teams, I think they played for the Sun Belt title like 2 years ago or something. And normally they play each other really, really close. This will go back and forth. I'm giving the slight edge to Appalachian State. If this literally could go either way. It should be an awesome game to watch. Both teams are 4-1. Appalachian State's only picked to win by 3, and I think that's about what it'll be. I'm going to go Appalachian State there. All right, Thursday, there's 2 games in. One in Navy in Memphis. Navy, they played SMU really tough. Only lost 31-24. Ty Lavate passed for 64 yards and a touchdown, ran for 53. They did have a fumble return for a touchdown defensively. Memphis, they lost in a kind of a shootout with Tulsa, 35-29. Seth Hennigan, 463 passing, 2 touchdowns, 2 picks, and ran for 37 yards. Calvin Austin, 13 catches, 200 receiving yards, and 1 touchdown. They had 614 yards of offense. They turned over 3 times, which is how they lost it to Tulsa. Those will be Navy's, that triple option team. They'll keep the ball away from Memphis's potent, high-scoring offense. I think this would be kind of go similar for Navy, the way they played SMU and UCF the week before. They beat UCF close, but they lost to SMU close. I'm going to say it's kind of tough. It might go back and forth. I'm going to say Memphis slightly gets it over here. It'll be a really close game. I think Memphis will win in the end. All right, Georgia Southern and South Alabama. Georgia Southern, they lost by 3 to Troy, 27-24 on a late field goal. Justin Tomlin passed for 210 in that triple option offense. We had 3 interceptions. Defensively, they did have 4 sacks there. South Alabama lost in 4 overtimes to Texas State, 33-31. Jake Bentley, 190 passing, 2 touchdowns, a pick. They had 3 turnovers, and they forced 3 turnovers there. I think Georgia Southern will get the triple option game going in this game. South Alabama is a good team, and I think Georgia Southern will get them in the end. All right, Friday's got 4 college games. Friday, Marshall and North Texas. This could be a pretty high-scoring game. Marshall beat Old Dominion in overtime, 20-13. Grant Wells, 299 passing, 2 touchdowns, 2 picks. Defensively, they had 4 sacks as a team. North Texas, they lost 48-35 to Missouri. They were down 31-7 at halftime and just were trying to come back the whole game. Austin Ani passed for 305, 4 touchdowns, 2 picks, added 59 rushing yards. They put up 493 yards of offense, turned it over 3 times there. I'm going to say Marshall's been very weird this year. They kind of been inconsistent. North Texas, they've only won 1 game this year. Normally they're pretty good on offense. The last couple of games they seem to have found a little bit of something offensively. I'm going to say North Texas, actually, they're finding their footing, and I think they will get by Marshall in what, like I said, it should be a pretty high-scoring, entertaining game. All right, ACC, Clemson and Syracuse. Clemson's coming off a bye. Their last game was a win against Boston College, 19-13. They very easily could have lost that game. DJ Uiagalelei was not very good. 13 of 28, 207, added 50 rushing yards. Kobe Pace ran for 125 and a touchdown. Joseph Nada, 4 catches, 111. Defensively, they had 4 sacks and 3 turnovers there. Syracuse lost in a shootout in overtime to Wake Forest, 40-37. Garrett Strader passed for 160 and 2 touchdowns. Ran for 178 yards and a touchdown. Sean Tucker ran for 153, 2 touchdowns, and received a touchdown at 514 yards of offense. I'm going to go with Syracuse here. Clemson is not Clemson this year. Their offense is horrible. Their defense is good. I think Syracuse will have just too much. Even though they will slow down against Syracuse, if Syracuse can score even 20 points, Clemson sucks this year in offense. I'm going to go with Syracuse to win that game. All right, Cal and Oregon. Cal, both teams coming off byes. Cal, they lost to Washington State 21-6. Chase Garber's 14-30, 152 an interception. Defensively, they had 4 sacks. Oregon, a couple weeks ago, they lost in overtime to Stanford, 31-24, and lost their number 1 running back, C.J. Verdell, for the rest of the season. Anthony Brown passed for 186, an interception, and ran for 35 yards and 2 rushing touchdowns in that game. I think Oregon will bounce back from this. I think they had the better team than Cal. That bye week served them well. Get anybody else they had injured, get them healthy. Cal is just, they're not a very good team this year. Oregon should still be decent enough to get to about 9 wins or so, and I think one of them will come here. And then the final game of Friday night, San Diego State and San Jose State. San Diego State, they're ranked now. They're 5-0. They beat New Mexico 31-7. Gray Bell ran for 111 yards and a touchdown. Defensively, they only allowed 193 total yards and had 4 sacks. San Jose State, they got thumped by Colorado State 32-14. Nick Nash, 154 passing, 2 touchdowns, and interception, ran for 38 yards. They had 267 total yards and 3 turnovers. San Jose State is not very good this year. San Diego State, they've been really good for about 10 years now. All they do is run well, play great defense, and don't really do anything with the quarterback, but they don't need to. And I think San Diego State, with that defense and that running game, will get by San Jose State. So those are my picks and my previews for the college games and the NFL game. Check out my other videos later. Peace.